Hi everyone, my name is Farhad Sajid and I will be your guide today for an amazing platform that has been developed by Team and Cyphers, namely Mobexler, which is a mobile application penetration testing platform. So those who are going to start their career or let's say are already in the field of infosec and want to transition and learn more and deep dive into mobile application security, uh, this is something always that happens with everyone, that even with me when I started learning mobile application security, I was thinking about where I can get all the tools. And when I got I went through some of the GitHub repositories to figure out what are the tools that are extensively used in the community during a pen test and throughout the complete process. Now, the major problem that arises when you are into mobile application security is installation of tools. Okay, you will find good GitHub repos out there who will list out all the tools along with the links and steps to install them. You will encounter some of the time that you are installing some packages are not building. There is some kind of error. Your environment is not set as per the requirement of the tool, and tons of things are involved in that, right? So that becomes one of the major problem while you are working out with the tools which are required for doing an active mobile application penetration testing, as well as when you are doing a pen test. It's always you require something like if the whole thing was in a simple one environment and you don't have to switch between machines in order to work out with that, that would have been a fantastic thing to work out with. So keeping all those things in mind, the hurdles that a mobile application pen tester faces while working out in a penetration testing project, right? And Cypher's team has made out this amazing platform, which is a Mobexler. And well, this platform, you can basically uh, you get all-in-one tools in a single platforms, and we'll learn more about Mobexler as we go on, but this is something amazing to look into. Now, this has been developed only thinking in mind that this will only support the core purpose of mobile application penetration testing. It has some tools which you might use it on network testing or even for web application testing. But the idea or the core logic behind building this platform was to facilitate mobile application penetration testing and have all the required tools which you as a pen tester will need while developing a plan, while working on penetration testing, um, come in a single platform, and it's just few clicks away instead of working out with the errors while installation and all those stuffs. So that thing has been taken care of by Mobexler. And when I started with Mobexler, um, like it was something amazing to work into. Trust me when I say that, because um, it's a lightweight, um, easy to use. All tools that you require during a pen test, all are there for mobile application, along with the categorization that which are the tools you will require for an Android application testing, or which are the tools you will require for iOS application testing, and so on. So they are being categorized, and if you go one by one, they will help you a lot out. So let's have a look at their web application or the website, mobexler.com, and see what are the things they have provided. So if I go to their website, mobexler.com, or just search for Mobexler, if I go to their homepage, so it's their website, and it shows us that, okay, over here you have the download page. Let's have a look what else we have. So it has lists of awesome tools. It tells that it can facilitate in Android as well as an iOS security that we were talking about, and it also contains some tools and scripts which will help you a lot for other penetration testing too, like web app or mobile. And now the team that has developed is Abhinav being the project lead and the CEO of the company. Then we have Narendra, Abhishek, Shiraz, and Nash, the whole team who has developed this awesome platform. Now, let's understand why you should go to this platform. First of all, the thing is that now, if we see this, like why you should, because there are tons of penetration testing platform out there. Why Mobexler? Why you should switch to that, right? Or why you should go with that? Now, if you see you have tons of platform, yeah, I agree on that, which will help you a lot. But on the other hand, you don't have something like a platform which will facilitate you a lot during both iOS and Android penetration testing. So it's a single platform for both iOS application testing as well as Android application testing. Now, that is going to be something awesome, I will say, because you don't have to go with different machines for doing the testing. One machine which will facilitate Android, then another machine that will facilitate for iOS. So you don't have to switch it. Only one machine, and that will do your job. That will have all the things, that all the tools, all the scripts, everything on board, and that will facilitate you a lot in the sense completely. Okay, now another important and amazing feature I will say is that it has JSH based shell. Now those who are developers or pen testers, those who want terminals to be amazing or looking cool, as well as uh, do something like remember the histories, uh, tab support, as well as um, look fantastic when you load it, like give you a feeling that okay, this is awesome, man, this is something I want to work out with. Now JSH shell is something we should count into. And now Mobexler has integrated JSH shell, and that looks pretty awesome. I will show you when we see the Mobexler on action live. So we'll see how that command line interface basically looks pretty awesome, as well as how it's helping us with commands, how it's cleverly remembering the history, right? And again, if you see some other platforms, you will see there are tons of tools in that particular platform. Some tools which you will never use, even those tools are there. So for example, there might be tools which will be of forensics or of reverse engineering, or specifically for network security, or specifically for web application security. Now, some of these tools are like common for mobile application security, like Bob Suit, I will say, um, or Wireshark or TCP dump. These are something common that you will require for both web app, mobile, as well as network. But on the other hand, if a tool, something like, let's say, um, a forensics tool, right, that we are not even into that field, and it's there into integrated in our platform. So that basically doesn't make sense to have that particular tool in our arsenal, because it won't be helping us in any run, right, in during our pen test projects or analysis or anything that is or the domain we are working or with, specifically on mobile application testing. So this platform has been optimized for CS pen tester only, who are interested in working on mobile application security. No tools or scripts you will find which are not required or useless in terms of doing mobile application security testing, right? So tools only which are required for your daily usage in a mobile security testing, those are there. So it's pretty optimized. You don't have some fancy tools which won't be used just to look cool, right? And this platform has tools which helps you in both static as well as dynamic analysis. You might find some platform which only has static analysis tools integrated into them. And then for, let's say, doing some kind of dynamic analysis, you have to switch or have to install it manually. But this platforms come pre-installed with both static and dynamic analysis tools. So that pretty much helps you out during your analysis in both dimension. Another important and I will say amazing feature that I've seen with this platform is it supports both real and virtual device. So whether it's your physical jailbroken device or not jailbroken device also, if it's not even a jailbroken device, whether it's physical jailbroken or not device, as well as whether it's your emulator or virtual device, let's say for example, whether it's a Genymotion based device or a Corellium based device, it supports both. Now that is something fantastic. Like uh, you get the support of a real device. You can work out with your real device easily, as well as the virtual device. It supports both, right? Now these are some of the, like, this platform has some amazing features also. uh, we won't go much detail because that will make our session more longer, but these are some key points that I think should have been brought in front of you in order to think why you should switch to Mobexler in for doing any kind of mobile application security testing. Now let's jump into mobexler.com and see what other things they have in their arsenal, right? So if you go to the download page, basically, if you see over here, it was last updated in 26 March 2021. So it's like recent, and its based operating system is Linux Lite, 64-bit, and the file size is of 12 gigs. And you can download from Google Drive as well as OneDrive as per your ease, whichever you prefer. All right, so if you click on this, it redirects you to Google Drive. And I think if you click on download, that will say it's something around 13 gigs and file is too large. So you can click on download anyway to do the uh, downloading process and get started. Now, on their websites, they have mentioned about how to do the setup. I will say it's pretty simple. Who is already in InfoSec industry and been into this field for couple of months even, I know that you will know how to do the setup for a virtual machine. But it's good that they gave us how to do the setup, right? If you see, they have provided a YouTube video. They have a YouTube channel, so they provided a YouTube video over there of setting up environment. I will basically say it's plug and play. You download it, double click on it, and it will open up with VirtualBox and will import all the settings and set up your environment with the things required. And what are the requirements? You see, the requirements is pretty simple. You need a hard disk with 25 gigs and RAM of 2 gigs. So this is something amazing I feel about this platform, is that it's not taking too much of RAM. So even if someone who is having low configuration system, let's say if someone is having a system with 4 gigs of RAM, can still use this system without having much trouble, like hang up and all, or lag or delay, something like that. That won't be there with even a low configured system. So that has been extensively taken care of. So if you are not a fan of watching videos and you prefer going through the blogs, so they have written the complete steps along with the screenshots so that you can match up with the thing, that whether you are going correct or not. And they have written the complete steps out and what are the network settings that you need to do. I think it comes pre-configured, but still you can have a look into that. And the password for this machine is 12345. Okay, what else do we have? Next, if you would scroll down a bit, you will see how you can set up your Mobexler with Genymotion device or any other emulator you prefer, right? So Genymotion is something hot favorite among mobile application security researchers for Android security testing. So they have taken that in consideration and written out the complete steps that are required in order to do the setup, as well as how you are going to configure your Genymotion device so that it can interact with Mobexler machine. And it's I think it's some 6-7 steps which are pretty small, and easily you can do that. And in case you are stuck somewhere, come back, refer to this guide, and this will help you a lot. All right, so what else we have in their website? Let's look into that. So they have mentioned about the tools, resources, and mobile application pen testing checklist. We'll come to that. All right. Now, one core question that someone who is starting in mobile application security always asks is that what are the things, what do you need for mobile application pen test, right? The prerequisites that we say in simple terms. So first of all, I will say if you are a beginner or just starting in mobile application security or want to learn mobile application security, I will say you should first have Mobexler platform. So that will drastically reduce your time setting up all the tools and scripts. That will take, I think, more than 2 or 3 days in order to do the setup, as well as go up with the errors, troubleshooting them out, and playing around with them. So instead of that, I will say go with Mobexler. It has all the necessary tools and scripts pre-installed in its environment, and you will be saving a lot of time and energy, as well as you will be in love with the platform. Next thing about mobile application pen test is that you need either a real device or a virtual device, so where you can do the pen testing, right? So either you can have a jailbroken iPhone on, not if you want to go with extensive penetration testing. So in that case, you will be requiring a jailbroken device, both iOS and Android, so where you can get shell access, the root access basically, and play out with the system files and all. uh, Try to capture traffic, uh, and do some um, extensive hooking and all those things, like have Frida installed. I will talk about Frida in some times, but most of the tools that you will be requiring in order to do the pen test will require that you have a jailbroken device. Uh, there are some tools that might not require a jailbroken device, but it's preferred that you have a jailbroken device. So you will require a real device in case you are good with that. In case you are not good with that, then in that case, you will have to go with a virtual device. Now, when I say virtual device, it can be your Genymotion device, or it can be Corellium based device, right? Either of them, you can go as per your ease, which of them you are comfortable with. uh, right? Both are amazing platform, but I think Genymotion only provides Android device. If you want a single platform which provides both Android as well as iOS device, Corellium is something that you can look into, right? And Mobexler has been customized in such a way that it supports both of them, Genymotion as well as Corellium. So you don't need to do any kind of other setup in order to get to that. Now, another thing about mobile application pen test is that you will be requiring a checklist and the resources from where you can learn, do some research, and you will basically require resources, right? So if you see this, and Cypher's team has provided up with resources section in their Mobexler website. So if you go to resources, you will see some videos, basically how to set up the Mobexler on an amazing tool called Frida, and an iOS application training that was delivered on OAups. And then you have some other iOS videos and Android application security testing, and the books and the guides you can go through with in order to uh, learn more. Or even they have their own trainings. If you go on to their online training, you will find they have the training for both Android as well as iOS. So that is also something amazing to look into, because they are most updated in terms of uh, industrial requirements, and the things it will contains all the things that you will require in order to all the topics that you will require in order to do the penetration testing. So taking all those things in mind, they have made it something amazing to refer to, right? Other than that, they have mobile application pen testing checklists. So if you go into that, um, so you have Android checklist as well as the iOS checklist. You can go in either of them in order to look for what are the things you should be having in your arsenal or knowing in order to learn more about mobile application security. So uh, they have mentioned about the tools, its related description, and the category. So they have provided an amazing read over here in case you want to reference for doing any kind of uh, penetration testing and the steps involved in it and what are the things you are going to encounter and how you are going to work out with that. So it's something amazing to look into, right? Let's go into our list of tools that has been integrated in Mobexler. So you can see a bunch of amazing important tools are there, starting from Android Studio, then to Frida browser objection. So if you are starting, if you are coming here for the first time in mobile application security, some of this tool might be making sense to you guys, and most of them might not be. But these are something amazing tools you will be requiring in order to do mobile application security testing. And these are some important tools that you will be playing around each and every time. So these are some tools. Now let's do one thing. Let's get started and let's see uh, some things about how we um, basically connect with our devices, what are the tools provided in how the UI looks like and everything, right? All right. So if you see over here, I'm running Corellium based device. So this is a Corellium platform. You can visit their site in order to learn more about them. They provide ARM-based virtual machine, uh, and they have both iOS and Android support. So you can go with any of the devices. So if I click on my devices, you will see I have two devices. One is running iPhone 7 Plus, and another is running an Android version 7.1.2, right? So let me just go with Android device first and let me click on connect to display. And if you see, they have given all the commands in order to connect to that particular device. And you will require a VPN file over here so that you connect in their network. And you see, this device looks something like the real device only, and it's actually a real device. Now, let's see Mobexler. If I go to my virtual machine, you see this is the interface and the password for this is 12345. So I will type 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and press enter. And this is how the UI of Mobexler looks like. Now, in case you are not comfortable with this wallpaper, you can basically change it as per your need. You just right click on it and you will get this drop down list, go to desktop settings and go with any other wallpapers you feel like. This was something cool to me, so I thought of keeping that. And then you see you have two browsers over here, Mozilla Firefox and Chrome, both the browsers that are important uh, for doing analysis as well as security testing, whether it's a web application or mobile application, whatever it is. Uh, and they will help you a lot to do a quick search in case you don't know anything about that. So both browsers are there, right? Then if we go to Mobexler menu, you will see they have something called as Android zone and iOS zone. Now this is one of my favorite. They have categorized the tools in two different zones so that you don't waste time thinking about which tool is for which type of device and how it will be helping. So if you see, if I go on iOS zone, you have Bob Suit that will help you in iOS security testing. CDI Impactor. CDI Impactor is no more supported because after Apple's updates, I don't think CDI Impactor works anymore. Then you have FileZilla for doing FTP transfer. Frida, that is something amazing tool, and Grapefruit for viewing the file system. Now Grapefruit works with Frida. Then you have a reverse engineering tool called Hopper Disassembler. Now this Hopper Disassembler is the trial version. That basically means you will only have 30 minutes access to the Hopper interface in case you want to do any kind of disassembly, right? And after 30 minutes, the session will expire. Then you have to again reopen Hopper. In case you have some premium license, then you can go with that uh, for lifetime or the validity of that particular license. Then an amazing tool by Gene Abraham, MobSF, is there, right? For doing IPA analysis, objection, which is again an amazing tool for hooking uh, a particular application both for Android as well as iOS. Passion Fruit, something similar to that of Grapefruit. Grapefruit is much more the newer version, and Putty, it is something I think everyone knows about. Then for Android Zone, you will find we have a bunch of tools starting from Android Studio, Android Framework, Drozer Framework. That is something amazing. Drozer, if you guys have worked with it, helps you a lot in doing hooking with Android applications. Frida again, and then we have a reverse engineering tool, GHydra, which is developed by NSA. And that is this GHydra tool is something very amazing in terms of reverse engineering. It's one of my hot favorite tool while doing reverse engineering. Then we have JD GUI, JEDX for uh, decompiling the APK files, right? Then we have a mobile application framework, Mara framework, which comes with lots of integrated tools, which helps you in doing reverse engineering and analysis of your application. Mobexler again for doing analysis of the application. And then you have other bunch of tools over here, which you can go PitCat for doing the log analysis, Wireshark. Um, it is a traffic analyzer, and I think most of you might know about Wireshark. Then we have RMS tool, also runtime mobile security, which will basically help you while you're running application to check what are the data are being traversed or are in the transit. Okay, these are some of the tools. And then if you go to all, then it will show you all the tools, right? And then we have another security zone, which basically have tools like Bob Suit and Wireshark, right? Now, if you see one thing, here is our terminal, which is basically going to be our friend for most of the time. Now, if you see, this is the Genesis terminal. It looks beautiful. And if you see, if I do, let's say, CD, you will see it remembers the history at last time, which directory I changed into. So basically, this is something handy and always comes helpful whenever, in case you forget the commands you used last time, right? So that is something amazing to work out with, right? JSS terminal. Then if you see again, the last command that I used with sudo was USB fluxd, so it remembers that, right? And even though if I don't want USB fluxd, if I just type the initials of the command that I want, basically I want to connect to my OpenVPN so that I can go into my Corellium's network. So just by typing few uh, key alphabets which starts with that particular command, it gives the good recommendation. That's something I like about this terminal. And it asks for the password. Password is 12345 and press enter. And it says, okay, initialization sequence completed, right? Now, let's see how we can basically connect to our Android device, which is running on Corellium. For Genymotion, we at Mobexler have already presented with the setup guidelines. You can just go through them in order to just do the setup. I will in this video demonstrate about how to work out with the Corellium platform specifically. So let's see. If I go to my Corellium device, it says ADB connect and the IP address and the port number. All right, let me do that. Now, ADB tools come pre-installed with Mobexler, so you don't need to install anything or to worry about anything. So just do ADB device, and the IP address was 10.11.1.2, and the port was 5001. I think it was, oh, sorry, it's ADB Connect. I forgot, my bad. If I do ADB Connect, yeah, it was ADB Connect. and 10.11.1.2 5000, and it says connected to 10.11.1.2 5001. That's very simple. Now if I do ADB devices, it will basically list me out all the devices that are connected to the ADB, Android debug bridge. Now if you see list of devices, 10.11.1.2 with on port number 5001 is connected, right? Now, one thing about this is this device are jailbroken. So basically you can have shell access to them. So if I do ADB shell, you will see I get the shell access, and if you do SU, you get the root access, right? Now, that's fantastic. Let me just go out of this. If I try to do something like this, let's say we open a new tab, because I will be reading that terminal which has the root access. All right, let's do something like this. Now, let me just list out the files I have. So if you see, I have something, an APK file named as trainingpin.apk. Now, just imagine I want to install it. So I can pretty much do ADB install training underscore pin.apk, right? And smart tab completion is also there with the terminal. And press enter. Now, let's give it a couple of seconds, and that will do the job of installation. Now, meanwhile, let's do something about the reverse engineering part. It has done, right? It has installed. Now, if you see, if I go to my device, uh, I scroll it up, and then you will see cards and keys application. That is the training application we basically use, install, and is asked for password, right? It's pretty fantastic. Now, if you see, if I go to Mobexler, and if I go to Android Zone, and if I go to JD GUI, you will notice how it helps us in doing reverse engineering too, in order to do all types of information gathering. So if I go to file, let me open a file. Go again to Mobexler and Android Zone. It was JDX, yes, not JDB, sorry. It was JDX. And this way, all right. Now my APK file is in downloads. Let me go and put it over here. And you will, if you give it a couple of seconds, you will see the complete architecture and the file system of that particular APK file. So if I go to resources and go to Android manifest.xml, that is the place from where you basically start doing your analysis or information gathering in order to figure out what are the permissions that particular application is taking, intents declared, and all those things. So if you see, these are some of the activities that are declared. We have login, sign up, home activities. Then we have some intents over here that basically is browsable and default. Then we have access to network state and permission for accessing the internet, right? And you will see its Android SDK version is 29, and there is some Android scheme defined which says ecktrainingapp.com. So basically, it will help us if it encounters any request ending with that particular domain. It will transit it to our ecards and keys application. Now you can also look into classes.dx file in order to do more analysis. We are not going to go deep dive into understanding how to do reverse engineering. For that, you can switch to Encipher's course, and they have uh, amazing resources and course for doing that. You can see the whole file system it displays for doing the analysis, right? So everything's are working pretty fine over here with uh, JEDX tool in case for doing the reverse engineering and analysis. Let me go with no, right? Other than that, if you want to um, go out with Frida, right? Frida is one of the amazing tool uh, which helps you a lot in figuring out applications that are running and hooking them, right? So for that, for Android, you basically have to download the Frida agent and push it to the Frida uh, path. Basically, you have to put it to a particular path, and then you can run Frida from the terminal itself. Let's do this. If I open Chrome and quickly go enter the password or the keychain and go with Frida server, you will see the releases of Frida, and over there I'm interested in Frida server for an ARM device, right? So I'll quickly do scroll it down to figure out Frida server, and here it is. You will see Frida server for Android ARM 64.xj, and we click on this and that will download, right? When we go back to terminal, do an ls, and we have our Frida server downloaded. Let me unzip it. Let me quickly type your xjet and give the file name and give it a couple of seconds. And let me do ls. And I have the Frida server over here, binary over here. And yes. All right. Now what I have to do is basically I have to push it up to Android device so that I can execute from there. So let me quickly do ls over here. We have a folder named data. Let me go into data and let me quickly go into a folder named as local. If I do ls over here, I only have a temp directory. All right. So let me push it. So I will do adb push Frida server, right, to slash data slash local and press enter, and it will start pushing the binary over there. It will take a couple of seconds in order to do that. All right. Let's just wait for a couple more seconds. I think it's 37% done. It takes a minute or two in order to do that. Also, meanwhile, you can see to figure out all the list of packages. Basically, when you are targeting an application which you want to test, which is installed in your testing environment like Corellium or let's say Genymotion, you have to figure out the correct package name of the application you want to analyze. So basically, you can use ADB shell in order to do that. So let me just open a new terminal meanwhile while it's pushing it, and we can do ADB shell pm list. It's pm hyphen list packages, and let me press enter. I think there is a typo. Let me just remove this. Okay, oh, there was a space, I forgot. Such kind of typos happens. So that is something amazing that you have this one, the command line tool, which can remember the history. So it says, okay, there is another typo over here. Let me just list packages. And see, it gives us the complete list of all the applications installed inside our devices and the name of the packages, right? You can see email, music, phone, shell, wallpapers, and pretty much everything, all the packages that are installed. I think our Frida server has been pushed, and once it's been pushed, let me quickly do ls over here. Cd out, cd into local. I think it was data local. Yes, it's correct. Let me go out. We have the local directory. And if you see, we have our Frida server copied to our data/local directory over here. Now, the thing that we need to do is we need to give it executable permission. So I will say chmod plus x and Frida-server. All right, let's just run it. And I think it's running. Now let's confirm it by running our application. So our application is already running. So let me quickly go to our virtual box, go to our terminal, and let's do Frida-ps-viewer, and you will see the output. And you see, it shows us all the list of applications and their identifiers along with their respective PID in order to figure out or to work out with any of the applications. So we can basically hook those applications using objection. So we can pretty much do like objection -g, and either we can go with the PID or the identifier. So let's say we go with the identifier. So if we go for our application, let's see if we can find it. Our application was com.ecards and keys. If you see the 980 ecards and keys, com.ecards and keys. So I will say com.ecards e-cards and keys. And it's saying something is missing. Uh, let's run it again. Explore objection -g cards and keys and explore. That should do the job. Let's just give it a couple of seconds to hook into the application. All right, it has identified the device as Corellium. It has injected the agent. All right. And here we have, so our Android version is 7.1.2. If I quickly do env to check the environment, and you will see the complete directory listings, right? So here is our base.apk, here is our cache that's being made, okay, in order to do the, if you want to do analysis of the file paths, if it is storing some sensitive information, if we want to disable SSL pinning, so that we can play around with the TCP traffic, HTTPS traffic, basically. So I can do Android SSL pinning and disable, and that will basically disable the Android SSL pinning, right? So you can play around more with it. You will find more thing in the course regarding rest of the testing and all. But this was something to show you that these are the things Mobexler is capable of. Similarly, let's play around with the iOS device. So if I go to my devices and switch to my iPhone 7 Plus and connect to display, it will take a couple of seconds to get this device started, and it's here, right? Now, now one thing about this iOS device is you can we tested completely about the iOS device, and it was everything was working pretty well with iOS device. The only thing or the problem you will be facing while you will be working on iOS penetration testing is with the installation of the IPA file or the application, because if you are an iOS user or you know about the iOS architecture, you might know that the iOS application need to be signed, and you have to sign it with using developer's license, and for that you will be requiring Xcode. So Xcode can only run in Mac devices. Without OS X you can't have Xcode. So that is only the problem you will be facing while working out with the iOS device. But once you are able to install the application, rest of the task, whatever you can do or whatever is required for doing an iOS penetration testing, can be done over here. Now that is something amazing that Mobexler provides us with, right? Let's see, let's open new tab and let's see if we can connect to iOS device. So in order to connect to your iOS device, you will be requiring USB MUX-D and USB FLUX-D. So USB MUX-D and FLUX-D basically helps us in making the device seem like it is connected via USB to our Mobexler device, right? So Mobexler comes pre-installed with MUX-D and FLUX-D, so you no need to install anything. So I will just say sudo USB MUX-D-F and give the password. That is 12345, and it says initialization complete. Let me open new tab and let's say sudo USB FLUX-D-F, and let's keep it the password, and it says initialization complete and service resolved. All right, let's quickly see the device information just to make sure or confirm that our device is attached. I can just type iDevice info and press enter, and that should give us the information of our device. If it works well, then in that case we are sure that our device is connected. And if you can see, it says us it is a Corellium device, right? its UUID, which you will basically require during testing and all, right? So that basically shows us that our device is connected to Mobexler. Now, what can we do? Now, one thing is that Corellium devices comes pre-installed with Frida, right? So what I can do is, let me open an application in Frida. Let me see the Notes application, right? If I open the Notes application and go to my terminal and do frida-ps-ua and press enter, you will see the PID, process ID, name of the application, and the identifier. So CDI is also running maybe in the background. Uh, the nodes that I just opened up. Also, we can hook it using objection. So I will say objection hyphen G com dot apple dot mobile notes, and let's say explore and press enter. Okay, there is a typo with mistakenly given double E, and press enter, and that should hook into the notes application, and we can basically play around with it. Let's give it a couple of seconds. Okay, it has injected and it shows us that it is iPhone 13 and it has injected into com.apple.mobile notes. And if we do env, it should give us the environment variables like path where the application is there, its caches, its documents, its library, which are the important file paths that we require in order to do information gathering to find out if it is storing some important data over there, or if any data lakes possible with those particular storage, right? Also, we can look out if we can figure out the classes that are being called by that particular application. So we can say iOS uh, hooking list classes, and you will see it lists us all the classes that is there. Okay, it's saying that there is some. Let's run it again. It should work. Let me just hook it again. Sometimes it happens that there is some kind of error. Okay, Frida might have been unable to connect to Frida server. Maybe Frida got closed. Let's quickly run frida-ps-ua. All right. Might be, I think the USB flux D got disconnected. Okay, it reconnected. Maybe it was disconnected. Yes. Let's quickly run frida-ps-ua to check if Frida is working properly. Yes, it's working out. So let's hook it with objection. So our previous command was mobile notes explore. Sometimes it happens that connection dies out, and because of that you will see those tons of errors, but nothing to worry. Just restart the USB flux D and that should do the job. Now agent is injected and now everything is working fine. So what we can do, let's quickly look into iOS hooking list classes to check out all the list of classes that's being invoked or called by the applications. And it should give us a long list of classes. And if you see, it is giving us a long list of classes that's being used or invoked by the application, right? Also, you can play around with um, grapefruit. If you go over here, we have something called as grapefruit. If you click on that, that basically gives you browser and UI to see the storage of the particular iOS device and all the files and folders that are being stored over there. So it takes some couple of seconds in order to start its server, and you can visit the URL provided by them in order to uh, get a more closer look to the file system of that particular iOS device. Also for playing around with reverse engineering of an iOS device, you have, if you go to iOS zone, you have Hopper disassembler, which you can basically use to disassemble Objective-C based IPA file. You can also disassemble Swift based IPA file, but uh, the it's more helpful with Objective-C based IPA files or the application that's built with Objective-C. So it's starting to develop the server. Let's give it a couple of seconds and it will be down to it. Now, one thing you should know about the grapefruit is that grapefruit works, or it include the dependencies of Frida, right? Now you have seen Frida, it's an amazing tool. Uh, so it's completely depends upon that in order to get the complete device file systems and display it to you. And after a couple of seconds, you will see it says app running at local this and network this. Let's visit this and see what it gives us. So let me open our browser, open a new tab. Let's quickly visit 10.2.15, and it was, I think, 8080, yes. And it has started the grapefruit interface. It takes some time in order to load if you are running it for the first time. Also, it depends upon the network in order to load all the modules. And it loads in a couple of seconds, and once done you can see the list of devices that are attached. And if you click on the iOS device, it's loading. It's going to take some time. Okay, it has given some proxy error. Maybe there kind of some kind of disconnection happened, but anyways, it works pretty well. Maybe it's, the USB fluxy again got disconnected or something like that might have happened. But this is something amazing where you get all the platform tools in one place, and you can work out with it without having to intervene to change into different um, VMs, right? So that's something fantastic, right? So I hope tour to Mobexler is something you might like, and in future consider switching it to the Mobexler VM in case you want to learn about mobile application security and want to have your career embedded towards this, right? So these are all things we had in mind for giving you a tour to our amazing platform Mobexler, and hope you liked it. And we will welcome any more recommendation so that we can enrich our platform more as per the uh, requirements of our users, and release the newer updates on timely manner. So thank you very much, and wish you a great